A Christmas movie from the man who brought us Creep, Black Death, Severance and Triangle. Okay. Given the roster of films that Chris Smith is responsible for, or guilty for in many cases, you'd be excused for thinking that this was going to be some kind of genre mashup, a Christmas movie with a bit of horror mixed in. But it's not. It's an out-and-out Christmas movie, and this doesn't feel anything like his previous work. It's very much in the Christmas spirit. It wants to be along the lines of The Santa Claus and Miracle on 34th Street and all those kind of Christmas movies. And to a large degree, it actually works. It succeeds. This film sees Jim Broadbent playing Santa, and he basically crash lands. His sleigh ends up halfway across the other side of London, and his reindeer end up elsewhere. And basically, he tries to break his reindeer out of incarceration. They're put up in a place where they can be kept safe. Basically, the authorities just assume they're escaped reindeer from somewhere, but they don't know where. So when he tries to break them out, he's arrested and he's put in prison. Now, that is the element of the film which to me is least believable, but we'll get to that. Rafe Spall plays this man who has just come out of prison, the very prison that Santa is now locked up in. So along with his son, who kind of gets embroiled in it somehow, which I can't be bothered going into, the two of them decide that they have to break Santa out in order to save Christmas. So yeah, that's it really. That's the story. There's a lot about it that works and a lot about it that doesn't. My primary thing being that the thing about it that doesn't work is this idea that Jim Broadbent Santa gets locked up in prison. Now, clearly, at the worst case scenario for this guy is that they think he's just some Looney Tune crazy, and they would put him in, yeah, maybe an institution, but it would be more for the mentally insane, not a prison like this, I don't believe. The worst thing he did was try and break a reindeer out of somewhere. It's not like this is, murder or rape or something to that degree. So that to me feels very unbelievable. But okay, you need to get him in prison, fair enough, whatever. Now, also there's some humour in this that really doesn't work. It goes like full-on broad kind of strokes. There's this female character, this parole officer that Rafe Spall's character has to kind of keep in touch with all the time, and when he doesn't, because he's trying to save Santa, she gets really kind of bent out of shape about it and wants to get him in prison. But she's really over the top, and the humour that they try and use with her is just, it's from a different film. It doesn't feel quite in line with the rest of this film. But it's not enough to kind of take the film off track, I don't think. I think it's still an enjoyable watch. Rafe Spall is a very good presence on screen. He never kind of goes to any great emotional depth in this, but his character kind of suits this laid back kind of take it on the chin person that he is, that he's playing here. He just kind of rolls with the punches, so to speak, and in many ways that's funny. Watching him do it like that, watching him play it that way is actually quite amusing. The standout here is Jim Broadbent as Santa. He genuinely gets some laughs. There's one moment in particular where he's being taught by Stephen Graham, who is also very good in this and an actor I quite admire. You'll know him from This Is England. But there's a moment where he's trying to teach Santa how to look mean and how to kind of square up to the other prisoners so that he basically doesn't get a beating while he's in there. And that stuff is quite funny. But there's also some really touching stuff in here. When Santa starts giving people's personal histories and we get an insight into why they might have gone off the tracks, that's quite touching, and especially as we see the reaction from those people. I think the way they play it makes those scenes work, and the way Jim Broadbent in particular plays it makes those scenes work. This film towards the end as well goes into quite a big budget realm. I mean, I don't think this had a big budget by any stretch of the imagination, but we get some creative special effects towards the end that I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it to go there, where it goes. They go to Lapland, they go to see all the elves and all that lot, and to see the workshop and all the budget that they've put into that. like I say, it looks quite expensive, more expensive than I would imagine this film actually is. So yeah, and there's some really nice special effects. We've seen sleighs flying through the sky countless times, but in many points in this, it actually looks believable. What you're seeing on screen looks real. So yeah, props to the effects department on that one. But yeah, all in all, this is a really good film. Well, not really good. It's a good film, a good Christmas film that I think kind of beats off some stiff competition from your more expensive American markets. I think for a Brit flick, they've done pretty well here, and it easily competes with the likes of the Santa Claus and Miracle on 34th Street and all those kind of films. Maybe not quite as good as some of them, but yeah, I think there's much to enjoy. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Solid stuff. But what about you? Have you seen this film? And if so, what did you think about it? Comment below, let me know, and until tomorrow, thanks for watching.